Climate change, we have a limited amount of time to resolve it, and it concerns everyone.
For me, it helps to know where are the challenges, and then you start to see the solutions.
Paris is about setting direction and setting us moving forward. COP22.
The agreement is going to be in New York, opened for signing on April 22nd, 2016.
The decisions they make for us, we're going to hold them accountable.
People are waking up. Paris showed that people are ready to do something about it.
Oh, I think we'll get a good view. Hey, look at that. So, oh gosh, there. Was the last time we were filming in Copenhagen?
Yes, it was. And we said...
We said that they would be signing the Paris Agreement on April 22nd at the UN, and we would start filming then. And here we are. So we have almost 170 countries represented here today to sign on the first day. It's open for a year, so they don't have to all sign it today. But the US said they were going to, and then China said they were going to, and so everyone else is kind of pulled to the table. Today they're signing it, which is the first stage. After signing it, each country who signs it has to ratify it or approve it, sign on to it officially. I have printed off the Paris Agreement in preparation for today.
No way. How many pages?
31 pages.
That's not bad.
So, should I read a little bit of it?
Adoption of the Paris Agreement. The Conference of the Parties, recognizing that climate change represents an urgent and potentially irreversible threat to human societies and the planet, and thus requires the widest possible cooperation by all countries. Acknowledging that climate change is a common concern of humankind, parties should, when taking action to address climate change, respect, promote, and consider their respective obligations on human rights, the right to health, the rights of indigenous peoples, local communities, migrants, children, as well as gender equality, empowerment of women, and intergenerational equity. Emphasizing the enduring benefits of ambitious and early action, including major reductions in the cost of future mitigation and adaptation efforts.
Can we put it on? Yeah?
Very good.
Okay. So, we're back. It's been almost a year since we were in Paris.
A year?
Can you believe that?
What have we done?
If you would have told me when we were in Paris that the Paris Agreement would be coming into effect before COP22, I would have said, what? It's supposed to come into effect in 2020. What are you talking about? I don't understand. But it's coming into effect today.
Are you serious?
Today, which means that we've had over 55 countries representing over 55% of the world's global emissions sign on to the Paris Agreement and say, we're doing this.
That's awesome.
Which is like one of the fastest moving global agreements ever to come into force. I think Kyoto took like 8 years to come into force. It means that COP22 can be a COP of action because now it's actually in effect and they can decide how to implement it. It's also important because, and I think part of the reason why it was pushed through so quickly is because we have an election coming up here in this country in a few days. And once the Paris Agreement has come into effect, the countries that are in the Paris Agreement cannot leave it for 4 years. So basically all of the countries that sign on to it are in it for at least a political term. So they can actually start to get things done. And then we've also had 2 other important agreements that haven't gotten nearly as much press as the Paris Agreement. But in October, 170 countries met and signed an accord to limit the use of hydrofluorocarbons, which are these like other greenhouse gases that are much more powerful than carbon dioxide. And they also, in October, 190 countries got together and signed an agreement with the airline industry to curb airline emissions. Hello. Aw, he's cute. So those gaps are starting to be addressed, it seems like, which is a good thing. So we've also passed this benchmark where we've passed the 400 ppm parts per million of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. ppm. watch episode 1. So it's unlikely that we're going to really dip under that very much for years to come, if ever. So I feel like it's like lots of good news, and it's happening. The climate is changing, so the stakes are high, and I feel like things are starting to kick into action. And now we just got to keep that momentum going and turn all of that good work that was made on the Paris Agreement into action. So we'll be there in Morocco at COP22 to see how everyone wants to implement this. How are we going to actually do this? Because now's the time to do it. We said we were going to do it, we all agreed we were going to do it, and now we got to do it.
No more business as usual. We don't have the luxury of time.